was Malachi. It was Malachi. Let me see your shit, cuz. It was Malachi. Yeah, let me see, cuz.
And I did something wrong.
Nah, cuz, that bitch. Damn. Bitch, I wouldn't front you a gram.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex and today we're going to be talking about low credit score. Why so many are struggling. A low credit score can feel like a financial prison and millions of Americans are stuck in it, whether it's missed payments, high debt, or just lack of credit history. The system is quick to punish and slow to forgive. One late bill can knock you down by 50 plus points, but rebilling takes months or years. Even people trying to do the right thing, like avoiding debt, can still end up with a poor score. And once your score drops, you're hit with high interest rates, security deposits, and loan denials. Employers, landlords, and insurance companies may even use it against you. It's a system that often rewards the wealthy and penalizes those who are already struggling. Worse credit bureaus aren't always accurate, and fixing mistakes can be a nightmare. People are finally talking about how broken the credit score system really is. It's time for more transparency, better education, and fair rules. So let's dive into the video and watch, guys.
What's the lowest credit score you've ever gotten approved?
485.
What's the lowest credit score you've ever gotten approved?
395.
What's the lowest credit score you've gotten approved?
A 372.
What's the lowest credit score you've ever gotten approved?
382.
What is the lowest credit score you've ever gotten approved?
515.
What's the lowest credit score you've ever gotten approved?
397.
Couldn't get nothing but the fuck about them people facing my 400 credit score, cousin. So let me tell you what I did to get from the 400s to the 8s so that you can do it too, okay? First, understand there are laws out here to protect you, okay? If you're not using your rights, cousin, you're doing this shit all wrong. And that's why you're getting them accounts verified. Then I need you to pull your credit report. I prefer my score IQ because it gives you your FICO score across all 3 credit reporting agencies, and it also gives you your side-by-side credit reports, and that makes it easy for you to highlight them discrepancies. We'll talk about that later, okay? And don't be scared to pull your credit report. I know some of y'all know that it's a shit show on there, but that's okay. We finna stop the bleeding, okay? Remember how I said we gonna use our rights? So I want y'all to look this up in the Cornell Law Book, okay? Or plug it into ChatGPT. ChatGPT will break it down to you, baby. It's the block and delete method. It's the law that mandates for them to block and delete those accounts in 4 business days. But in order for you to do that, it's some steps you have to take. Now, remember, I said we're going to do this shit the right way. We're going to respect to the law, okay? So, after you look up the block and delete method and understand what's going on and why you're going to do what you're getting ready to do, because when it comes down to credit repair, right way, wrong way, short way, long way, let's get this shit done right, the legal way. Okay, so then I want you to go to the FCC website, and I want y'all to file that complaint. Because you didn't look up what the 15 USC 1681 C-2, we understand what's going on and why we are filing that complaint, right? If y'all don't understand, y'all need help, drop help me in the comments. I got y'all. So after you file, or if you need me to help you walk you through that complaint, drop help me in the comments. I got you. So after you file that complaint, right? You're going to download that PDF. You're going to take it over to the CFPB. You guys, you don't even have to go to the post office anymore for this. You don't have to send off anything certified or pay for any postage. All you have to do is file your complaints through the CFPB portal. They're going to act as your communication portal. They also run Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. They're the only credit bureaus in America. We talked about this earlier, right? So then after you submit your complaint through the CFPB, if you need help with that, drop help me in the comments. I got you. If you need a step-by-step on the CFPB website, I got you. Drop help me. I'm going to help you, okay? Because I need y'all to get this shit done. Go ahead, file your CFPB complaint. You're going to include your ID, the FCC complaint, your social security card, your proof of address, and your disputes, right? The CFPB going to send it over to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian for you. You're going to wait 4 business days because remember, that's what the law said. Respect to the law, right? All right, so now that they got your complaint, because the CFPB is going to let you know that when Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian has received your complaint, they're going to email you. Once you receive that email from the CFPB, Then legally, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian have 4 business days to block and delete those accounts so their asses grass. Use your rights and get it done the right way, okay?
Lord, speaking about the bad credit, I have got some bad credit stories. Listen, before I got my life together, right? Before I was a thriving nurse and I was in the bad credit club, right? Many years ago. And I just didn't know the importance of credit, and I was broke. You know what I mean? So I would get what I can get and, then couldn't pay it and then just had bad credit. And I remember having and I'm putting y'all in my bad credit years business because, it was then and this is now. But so I had bad credit. My credit was like a 550, right? Is that even, I think that's a crime. I think it's illegal for your credit to be that low. My credit was like a 550. And I remember in those times just going into, you didn't even want to look at a real dealership, right? You're driving down the street, you see the Honda dealerships, you wouldn't even think of going in dealerships like that. And if you did, you would sit there and they would say, sorry, you need a cosigner. And I would hear that so much. So you would have to go to this in-house financing place, and buy here, pay here, you pay weekly. They'd have you paying like $200 a week. And this is like 15 years ago, right? They have you paying like $200 a week for a car. You miss one payment and they repo the car, or it's something with the mileage. If you go over a certain amount of miles, like, oh, you have 3,000 miles and you're just so happy to get the car. You don't even really hear like 3,000 miles. Damn, I can't even drive around the corner. They're going to come get the car. I just got scammed so many times with that. And then, oh my God, when I was in nursing school, the first time I was broke as shit, like back in 2008, I was so broke and trying to, not wanting a car, trying to be in nursing school and trying to work as a CNA on the weekends and not wanting the car to get repoed, to be so scared, trying to hide the car. I remember one time I had the car running, warming it up, and I ran into my house because I left like one of my nursing books or something in there. By the time I came back out, it was gone. They had repoed the car because I had been hiding it, but it had just happened to be parked in the front of my house because I was, running right in the house really quick. So it's so scary when you have bad credit. But once I learned and I, became an adult and I had a career and I was making money, I started, paying my stuff, learning, so I learned through trial and error. Okay, I don't want any late payments. Okay, I don't, blah, blah, blah. And then over the years, I have, got amazing credit, built up relationships with the banks. I have the same banks, the same cards I've had for over a decade. So the feeling I have now and that peace of mind with having good credit and having my finances together, I went from not being able to go into a dealership to being able to walk into the BMW dealership, take a look. Oh, I want that right there. My sales guys at BMW, they know when I come in and I say, all right, I'm getting a new car, or I'm getting a car. They love it because it's literally a 20-minute process. All I need to do is drive it. I've already been looking at it. This is the one I want. Let me just take it for a spin. Oh, it's going to be $92,000. Get right on the phone. Call my credit union. I'm coming to pick up a check for $92,000 because I'll, finance it through my credit union and they just pay BMW straight off. That's how I do it. And I go get the check. Boom. Give it to BMW. Boom. Done. And that's it. And that's a good feeling. Not that fear of, oh, I'm going to need a cosigner. Then you're begging people for a cosigner. And then, so that's why when I say nursing has changed my life, and still dope to be a nurse, there's no other career like it. These are like the perks, that financial security that you have with being a nurse. It just changed my life. I was in the bad credit club, getting repoed, not being able to pay my bills, and I do not have that fear. I will go get whatever I want because I have good credit and I've built relationships and I've worked my ass off for years to do that. But Lord, I got some bad credit stories. I'm telling you, that shit causes stress and anxiety. And I can see why people who don't have money and shit be so mad and angry who have bad credit. Because going in somewhere with fear of hearing denied, not approved. No, I want to hear approved all the time. You know, I want to hear approved all the time. That is such a light feeling when you know you're going to hear approved. Like finances are everything. And we weren't privy to it. You know, a lot of minorities, we were not privy to financial literacy, but now there's no excuse because the information is out there. There's game out there.
2022, and I had a lady come in who wanted to buy a vehicle. Now I'm going to tell you her score in a minute, but you need to keep in mind this lady had a paid off trade-in that was worth somewhere around $5,000, and she also had $10,000 cash that she wanted to put down. So she had $15,000 towards a new vehicle. Now she had worked at the Cleveland Clinic for about 7 years. She made good income. She just went through a divorce, and she was struggling mightily to try to find somebody who could get her approved for a car. So I sent her into a lender who was really begging us for deals. They had just signed up with us, and they really wanted to get some business going with us. They kind of specialized in people with subprime credit. So I called the rep and said, look, I'm going to give you a shot. If I don't get this one approved, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm probably going to cut you guys off and just work with other lenders. I already have a bunch of other lenders who do kind of the same thing you do. Just come get all your forms, come get all your branding stuff and everything. And, we'll just part as friends. So I sent the lady in. I got an approval, and her score was 389. I swear she had a 389 credit score. Now, she wasn't trying to buy anything crazy. It was like a 1-year-old Chevy Malibu or something like that. She was only looking for something around $25,000, and she had a bunch down. So when you think about it, it really wasn't a bad risk for the lender. $15,000 down, and I got her approved on the balance. That is the lowest credit score that I've gotten approved. You have to know how to work these banks. You have to know how to call the lender and say, listen, I'm not getting anything from you guys. Can you give this one some special attention? If you do stuff like that, they will. They want business too. So you got to kind of know the tricks of the trade to get a customer like that approved. Lady was happy as could be. Sent us 3 referrals within the next, I think, 6 months. Brings up a little nostalgia for me. Makes me wish I was still on the desk. Not really. Maybe.
What up, everybody? This is Javier, that loan guy, and I'm just dropping by to remind people that you can buy a home with a credit score as low as 500. The FHA loan allows for a minimum FICO score of 500. Now, when you have a minimum FICO score of 500, it does require a 10% down payment. Now, you can raise your score, and maybe you're at the 580 mark. At that point, we only require 3.5% down. Now, if your score is at 620, then you might be eligible for down payment assistance that can get all of your down payment covered, maybe even some of the closing costs. So if you've been worried about credit, or you've been worried about having funds in the bank, there are ways to get you into a home. All you got to do is reach out and talk to a mortgage professional like myself. So if you're interested, if you've been thinking about buying a home but don't know where to start, you can start by messaging me or commenting me below. I'm available all day, and I can get you your options within 24 hours of an application. Awesome.
And I don't know if it's just me, but life is like school, or school is like life. I don't know. Either way, they the same. Like, yeah, money is good, but you need that credit to be even better. So while I'm making payments on time and my credit score is doing good, miss one payment and it's going down tremendously, like 200 points, just for you to get back on track and pay your payments on time, and it only go up 10 points at a time. Is that not how school used to be? Like, your grades start off good, and somehow you miss one assignment, you go from an A to an F. And it's hard to get that F back to an A. Like, I could do as many assignments as they giving out, and for some reason, the points still don't equal up to get me back to an A. And what pisses me off even more about it is that with credit, there's no time limit. So it ain't no due date. If it's down, you just got to keep working until it get back up.
Dear people with bad credit that need home loans, if somebody is willing to give you a loan, please understand you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you have done or will do will be held against you in the underwriter's office. Some people have really got to be careful what they are wishing for. When you are going to a lender and you know that your shit messed up, you don't get a right to complain about the things that are thrown at you. So I did a manual underwrite, or I was trying to get a borrower past the underwriter through doing a manual underwrite. This is the same manual underwrite that y'all running around here asking about. Realtors be like, oh, do you do manual underwrites? You got borrowers out here like, oh, I heard I don't need no credit score to get a loan. A manual underwrite literally means that we are going to have to go look for what's wrong with you. I had a guy that was getting a VA loan. He was, in desperate need to consolidate some debt. He had a 532 FICO score. And when I ran it through the automated underwriting system, it told me that we needed to do a manual underwrite in order to get him all the way through the process. I really, really fought so hard to make sure that this was going to work for him. And don't you know that the underwriter came back after the initial or the conditional approval and said, hey, we need you to do these 13 things. After all I did with this man or for this man, trying to get him to the point where an underwriter would consider him. I wrote a nice narrative about why he needed this money and how much better his life would be, because I assure you, he called me no less than 3 times a day. After he got his list of the items that were needed, which was about 13 things, he decided that this was too much and we were asking for too much nitpicky shit. Some of those items include, but not limited to, they needed him to sign 3 different documents that are normal for a home loan. They needed him to provide 2 months of bank statements. And what they're looking for is, has he gone into a negative? Like, you have non-sufficient funds, because that means that you're not responsible with your money. They were asking for past addresses, like, hey, have you ever lived or owned at any of these properties? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different properties that's listed on here. Mind you, on the loan application, we only listed 2 properties. The point that I'm making is, it is literally ridiculous. Some of the documents that he submitted to me weren't legible, so the underwriter re-requested the document. But the audacity of somebody who's literally begging to get money, and then once they think they got a flicker of hope, to be like, oh, well, you're not treating me like everybody else, so I'm gonna figure out a different way. Great, figure out a different way. But just understand what it is that you're asking for. When y'all are going in these situations and a lender is willing to say yes, you have no right to complain. You need to keep your mouth shut, say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, and follow directions.
Guys, and let's continue watching
Trump said credit is no longer a problem when you're trying to get approved for a place to stay. I believe it's an apartment. Look, y'all, this is a great thing. You know how many people that don't get approved for the simple fact that they had an eviction 5 years ago? One eviction from 5 years ago, 3 years ago can stop you from getting a place to stay. You know how many people credit is not so good because their parents screwed it all up when they was growing up, so they trying to get an apartment and they tell them, oh, your credit score is not high enough. Well, my credit score would be high enough if my mama didn't screw my damn credit up. You see what I'm saying? So another thing, so I think it's a great thing at what he's doing. He's trying to make sure that we have a place to stay, y'all. For the ones who can't get approved, if you've been trying to get a place to stay, apply now. Get you a place to stay for you and your kids, man. Trump is on our side, y'all. I keep on telling y'all that.
There's a reason why they say credit is king. Credit can determine anything. It can determine your rate, your payment, your term, how much money you need to put down, if you need to put any down at all. If you're a customer with a lower credit score, under 600, you can't expect a low payment. The bank is not going to allow it to happen. And no, it's not the dealership trying to scam you. The bank is the one who's giving a loan, and if they see that your credit score is in the lower end, they're going to charge you a high rate. Therefore, that's going to make the payment significantly higher. So you must set realistic expectations. You're not going to be $300 a month on any vehicle. That's not the end-all be-all. You can always improve your credit score, and then you don't have to worry about having a high rate, and you can have more leverage when you go to the dealership. If you like content like this, follow Absolute Whips for more tips.
Okay, so real quick, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all how I got my car with no down payment, no co-signer, and a 400, almost 500 credit. I only have one credit card, and it's late payments and stuff, so that's why my credit score went down. But yeah, and I was trying everything, like I didn't call like 15 dealerships. It was just lowering my credit, kept checking it, like it was so irritating. One person even said it can't get any worse, so they checked my credit like. But what I'm currently doing is renting to own. So I've previously rented a car off of Facebook Marketplace, and it went good. So then I found another renter because I was ready to rent another car. And so I always ask if they have cars available for sale. And so he had cars available, of course, but he said he could rent to own. And I don't know if that's a thing where everybody knows about that, but you probably could find it. If you need more information about it, just let me know. But yeah.
So I just recently got done talking to someone that was freaking out about their credit score randomly dropping. But what they were unaware of is how much of an impact their credit card balances have to their overall credit score. Now, this happens more often than not, so let's go ahead and break down the 5 factors that impact your credit score. Now, I went ahead and used this pie chart to give you a better visual. The number one factor that makes up 35% of your score is going to be your payment history, which is pretty straightforward. The more on-time payments that you make, the more positive impact it'll have to your credit score increasing. And if you make a late payment and it's reported onto your credit report, this can lead to your credit score dropping anywhere from 80 to 100 plus points. The second most important factor that makes up 30% of your score is going to be your credit card utilization. And this is referring to the amount of credit card debt that you have in comparison to your overall credit card limits. So the higher your balances are, the more of a negative impact it'll have to your credit score. And the lower your balances are, the more of a positive impact it'll have to your overall credit score. So be sure to pay your credit card balances down below 10% or less before your statement reporting dates. The third factor that makes up 15% of your credit score is going to be credit history. And by default, this is just something that you have to build over time. But a quick hack to get around this is by becoming an authorized user on either your parent, your family member, or a friend's credit card. But you want to make sure that they have 100% on-time payment history, low credit card balances, and good credit age on that account, preferably like 3+ years of history, because this will boost your credit score and reflect off of their positive credit history. The fourth factor that makes up 10% of your score is going to be mix of credit. You don't want to have a 700 plus credit score, but only have 3 credit cards and nothing else. You want to show responsibility handling different types of credit, so be sure to have multiple credit cards with different active loans, whether it be a mortgage loan, auto loan, or personal loan, just to show responsibility with different types of credit. And finally, the fifth factor that also makes up 10% of your score is going to be new credit, which is also referring to hard inquiries, which comes from when you apply for anything credit related. And the more hard inquiries that you have on your credit report, the more riskier you will look in the eyes of a lender. So don't just go out and applying for anything and everything credit related. So hopefully this pie chart was a good visual to understand what leads to your credit score going up or it going down, because your credit score will never just randomly change. So if you need to, always refer back to this pie chart to understand why your credit score may have changed. And if you need help with your credit, just comment the word credit down below.
Dealerships consider you a Bogue if you have credit scores of 600 and under. A Bogue to the car dealership is somebody that can't get financing, but it's a good thing that you follow me because I'm a Bogue specialist. My name's Tony Dow, and I was in the car financing industry for over 30 years. And my specialty was credit scores of 600 and under, where I have seen thousands of loans get approved with credit scores of 600 and under, where I have approved thousands of loans with credit scores of 600 and under. And the one thing that all these applications had in common was stability. Bows can be stable. Stability. Ability to be stable on your job. Ability to be stable at your residence. Ability to pay your bills on time. Stability. And what that means to you is an approval. What that means to the lender is you're more than likely to try to pay your bills. And if you don't, we know where to find you.
Bro, got no money and your credit suck? These 3 banks will lend you without no credit check. Come on. Alright, first up we got Insight Credit Union with the Credit Rebuilder Loan. Now, they're going to give you a minimum of $1,000 and a maximum of $5,000. Now, the best thing about this loan is you can get approved if you got collections, foreclosures, and bankruptcies. So definitely check them out. Alright, next up we got All South Credit Union with the Cash Please loan, because your broke ass need that money. So you can get up to $1,000 based off your eligibility, and they don't do no credit check for this bank. The website is literally down there. Alright, and last up you got ECU Credit Union with the $500 no credit check personal loan. Now the thing about this one is you got to have direct deposits and you had to be with your employer for a year. But if you need some quick cash and you ain't got no money, go check these.
Hey, thanks a ton for watching. I really appreciate all the likes, shares, and everyone who subscribed. Seriously helps the channel grows. If you're new here, do not forget to hit that subscribe button and stick around. I've got more videos coming your way soon. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.